another recap today. First game, which started at 1 o'clock, went until five something. Like it was a long game, and I had some time to eat and immediately basically do recap post. And actually, I made a mistake. Seems like in my previous recap, I put the wrong name. And anyways, I was exhausted before this game, and I didn't know how things were gonna go. Let's see what happened in my third game. So my opponent was Rorrer Grayson, 2400 player. I think he used to be 20 under 2300. Recently, he gained quite some rating. And in our game, I was expecting neither from him, but I didn't really have much time to prepare. I played the line that I played on the in Chicago Open. If you haven't watched my recap there, go ahead and watch. I think it was round five or something. I don't remember. Anyways, so here in that game, my opponent played Bishop E6, but in this game, Grayson played H5, and I did kind of remember something here. I don't know if it was my home preparation or not, but I wasn't feeling like thinking. I was like, okay, whatever. I will go for this position, which looks like equal. By the way, G6 was a terrible move. Yeah, he should have taken Bishop H4. The problem is that now I cannot play Bishop G4 because I was actually thinking that the problem was related to this variation: Bishop F2, King F2, Rook H1, Queen H1, Bishop G4. Yeah, I think this is close to equality. Yeah, it is equality. So I think the correct way to play after Bishop H4 is Bishop F3, G6. G6 maybe here is a mistake. Wow. Oh, Rook H6 needs to be played. Okay. This is not easy variation. My opponent immediately went wrong. He played G6, and after Bishop G4, Rook H4, Rook H4, Bishop H4, I took on E6 and played Queen G4. Yeah, the position is like you cannot hope for better out of the opening. So I was happy with what I got, but I wasn't feeling like I was very tired, so I was playing moves somewhat fast. King F7, G3, Bishop F6, long castle, Knight C6, and I went for F4. I was expecting my opponent to take EF, GF, play Bishop C3, BC, and I think Queen E7. Although I did see that I can bring knight to G5, so position is good. But he played another move which was quite bad, and maybe I should have spent a little bit more time uh, for calculating. Oh boy, yeah, I had the mate. Seems like knight C5, Queen E7, knight E6, Queen E6, and F5. Oh, GF, EF, Queen, let's see. Yeah, Queen G6. The game over. Oh, this could have ended the game much faster, maybe. But I did not. Knight E6 idea did not cross my mind, to be honest. Also, I saw that Knight D5 was a very good move because after Knight D5, his best move is to go Queen D8. If he plays Rook D8, I saw Knight F6, King F6, Fe, Knight D5, Queen H4, King G7, Knight C5, a nice tactic here. Queen D8, Queen D8, Knight D6. I would win like that. So he after 7 minutes thought he went Queen D8, and at this point I immediately saw that I can take Knight F6 and grab D6, but I didn't like. I mean, I felt like this position must be winning for me, but he gets some kind of a counterplay, and I see that here Angel says take B7 in this position, which opens up some checks. and yeah, as usual, engine doesn't care and wins. But I thought that why would I go to that position? I played knight e3, and this position, even though I didn't win anything, the position is winning. So he goes king e7. Before doing anything, I improve my king because in some variations he always had this bishop g5. So he plays b5 to stop my knight c4 idea. Now I push f5. He goes rook g8 to defend g6, and I go rook f1. And in this position, the like it is very hard to play with black, but I saw very beautiful variation. If my opponent played knight d4, for some reason engine doesn't show. I guess something wrong with that. I was thinking to take on e6, queen e6, and play queen g5. And apparently this is a mistake because he has a rook h8 move. I obviously blundered that because here after knight d5 he has rook h1, which I didn't see. So, but I calculated a very beautiful variation. Let me show you guys. So if he plays king g7, then I go knight d4, ed, and rook f6, queen f6, knight f5, king f7, knight h6, king g7, queen here, and then knight g8. That would have been a beautiful mate, but I guess it doesn't work. So after knight d4, I needed to play a good move, which is fg, rook g6, and queen h5, king g7. What's the idea here? I guess I go knight g4, and like his position is frozen, so he cannot do anything. But rook g7 was much worse move, so I took e6, queen e6, and I played queen to h4, pin the bishop, and so now his king cannot move to e7 because I have rook f6, queen f6, and knight d5 idea. So he had to play. I mean, like at this point, the game is lost. So he goes knight e7, and in this position, initially I was thinking to play g4, which obviously winning as well. But then I was like, what does he want? I was following the Kramnik's advice, I guess. I did solve some Kramnik puzzles in the stream while you guys were watching. I was like, what does he want? I realized that he wants to play knight g8. So how can I stop it? I mean, I played knight a5. So the idea is that if he goes knight g8, I play knight d5, and then knight comes to c6. So here my opponent plays g5. I go queen h5 check, king f8, and queen to g4. If he takes, I can take. If he plays knight g8, I take on f6, rook f7, and now I have knight h7 check, so that I don't need to worry about pin. Because king f7, then I go knight b7, threatening knight d8, fork. He goes rook g8, and at this point, I mean, I have many wins, but I went for the easiest one, queen d1. He cannot defend d6 and also stop this knight g4. So he goes king g6, I took d6. If he played rook d8, I was gonna play, I mean, here he resigned, but if he played, I would go knight d5, knight c8, you know. But here, very important move, rook h1, and if knight d6, queen h5 is a checkmate. Okay, so today, last game of the day, even though I was so tired, I think I played a beautiful game. And yeah, let's see what's waiting for us tomorrow. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Take care.